All right, let's talk about the future of work. But I mean for real. We're going to dive deep into a technology that is seriously set to redefine everything, AI agents. And trust me, this isn't just another buzzword, it's the very next chapter in how we get things done. So think of this as your complete guide to what's coming in 2026.
And this quote right here from Microsoft Research, it perfectly nails the massive shift we're talking about. We are moving way beyond just asking AI questions and getting answers back. The whole relationship is changing. It stops being just a tool and starts being a collaborator, a teammate you actually build momentum with.
So, here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the big picture, the future of work. Then, we'll zoom in and figure out what these AI agents actually are. After that, we'll map out all the tools out there, lay out a real-world strategy to get started, and finally, we'll tackle the most important question. Where do we fit in all this?
Okay, let's kick things off with that big picture, the future of work. To really get why AI agents are such a game changer, we first have to understand why this conversation is happening right now and why it's so critical for every single one of us.
So here's the fundamental shift you need to get your head around. For years, AI has been an assistant. It waits for us to tell it what to do. But now, it's becoming a doer. It's not just waiting for commands anymore. It's taking initiative, making plans, deciding on the next steps, and actually executing complex tasks all on its own.
And there's a name for this whole new world: agentic automation. If you've heard of hyperautomation, think of this as the next level up. We're not just automating simple clicks and repetitive data entry anymore. We are now talking about automating entire workflows that require actual thought, reasoning, and decision-making. Okay, that sets the stage perfectly for our next big question. Now that we know why this is happening, let's pull back the curtain and really get to know what an AI agent is. What makes it tick?
So, I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a minute, isn't this just a fancy chatbot? And that's a brilliant question, because the difference between a chatbot and an agent is, well, it's everything.
So here's the formal definition. An AI agent can sense its environment, like reading emails or checking a database, analyze what it finds, make decisions based on that analysis, and then it can act to achieve a goal. All of that without you holding its hand. And listen, the key words there are decision and action. That's the game changer.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. See, a chatbot is reactive. You ask, it answers. But an agent, it's proactive. It plans things and gets them started. A chatbot is stuck on a script, following rules. An agent is goal-oriented. It'll figure out a new way to get there if it hits a roadblock. So a chatbot is a tool you use, but an AI agent, that's a teammate you work with.
And it's not usually just one single agent doing the whole job, right? It's more like an orchestra. You might have one agent that's a genius at research, another that's a pro at analyzing data, and a third that's an amazing writer. They all work together, passing the baton to each other to accomplish one big, complex goal. It's beautiful.
So how do you actually build these things? What's out there? Let's take a look at the agent ecosystem because it's already huge and growing fast. But don't worry, we can break it all down into three main categories.
Okay, here's your map of the new world. First, you've got frameworks. Think LangGraph or AutoGen. These are for the developers, the people who want to get their hands dirty and build totally custom agents from the ground up. Next, you have no-code platforms. We're talking Diffy, Zapier, Airtable. This is awesome because it means anyone in the business can create automations with a simple drag-and-drop interface, no coding needed. And finally, you've got the big guns, enterprise solutions, like Salesforce's Agentforce 360, designed to plug right into the massive systems that big companies already rely on.
Okay, theory is great, but how do we actually do this? How do we bring agents into our own work without causing chaos? Let's talk about a real-world, practical strategy to get it done right.
Look, you don't just flip a switch. It's a simple four-step process. First, assess and plan. But don't just look for repetitive tasks. Look for repetitive decision-making. That's the sweet spot. Second, pick the right tool for the job based on who's on your team. Third, run a small pilot test. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick one high-impact area and prove it works. And fourth, and this is crucial, plan for growth from the very beginning. Think about the costs and the training before you're in too deep.
All right, for this last section, let's talk about the most important piece of the puzzle, us. Where do humans fit into this new agentic era? What does our role look like when we're working side by side with these incredibly smart systems?
Look, the big takeaway here is that our jobs aren't going away, they're just getting a major upgrade. Our focus is shifting from doing the work to directing the work.
We become the ones who design the tasks, who set the goals. We become the monitors, the supervisors, and maybe most importantly, we become system designers, figuring out the big picture logic of how all the agents should work together. It's less about the code and more about the architecture of intelligence.
You know the old saying, with great power comes great responsibility? Well, that's never been more true. Giving these systems so much autonomy means we have a huge responsibility to manage them. And that's where this idea of agentic guardrails comes in. It's absolutely essential that we build in rules, safety checks, and clear accountability to make sure these agents are working for us, safely and ethically.
Which really brings us to the bottom line. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, your team, it isn't just going to be made up of humans anymore. You're going to be leading a hybrid team of people and AI agents. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. It's not just about the technology, it's about leadership. Are you ready to lead them?